Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Being a judge is one of the most challenging and the most difficult professions in the world. I followed very closely this case of Joseph Irungu in the murder of businesswoman Monica Kimani. And Judge Grace Nzioka had one of the most challenging moments in her career, ladies and gentlemen. On one side was Joseph Irungu standing there with pleading eyes and looking directly into the eyes of the Justice Nzioka, and the family waiting for the judgment and pleading. As a mother, Judge Nzioka also had the pain of the family of the victim who are requesting for justice of the murder of their child. Judge Nzioka read the Bible where God gave Satan authority over the body of Job, but he cautioned Satan not to attempt to touch Job's life. It was that serious. And Judge Nzioka, I can say that, has got the heart of a lion, because she looked at quite a number of things before she dispensed that ruling. Death sentence that has shocked many. One of the things that came up was that Irungu was trained as a security officer in Dubai, and that went along to corroborate, according to Judge Nzioka, a fact that the murder was executed in a professional manner. The throat was cut, and then the body of the victim was placed in a shower tub to wash the blood. According to the court, this was professional. It was not just an ordinary murder. During the investigation, it was found out that Irungu was very arrogant, because it was said even when the trials were going on, Irungu blocked the brother of the deceased, and at some point he refused to be searched, brandishing his gun. The judge used this to corroborate the fact that Irungu was never a peaceful man. He was very arrogant, and he used, according to the prosecution and cross-examination, it was found out that Irungu used his anger to control his victims. And then it went further to say that the murder of Monica Kimani affected her mother, and her mother got depressed. Her brother refused to mingle with people. He cut his public association. He curtailed it. He decided to work online job because he could not trust anybody after the death of his sister. To make it worse, it was Monica Kimani who was said, according to the court, who was looking after the family. She had a business in Sudan. After her death, that business collapsed, thereby affecting the family not only psychologically but also financially. And then the judge said that in her ruling there has been a lot, rampant cases of femicide. Our ladies are being killed, and she took her records from the Amnesty International that had cautioned that we are losing in every 2 days a lady is being killed. And she said she wanted to give a ruling that was going to serve as an example to those who may be planning to kill our ladies. And of course, she was citing the case of is it called Rita Mweni, who was killed in a gruesome manner in an Airbnb. And she quoted The chief government pathologist, Johnson Oduor, who said he has never seen such a gruesome murder where the bones were being cut using a hacksaw and the body parts in different ways. So the judge said that in her ruling, she wanted to put an end to this by cautioning those who are planning to do this. And then came the argument of the right to life. And the judge said that in many cases, when they read, or judges read, or the defendants read this section, they usually look at the accused. But the judge maintained that inasmuch as Joseph Irungu had the right, or has the right to life, Monica Kimani, the deceased, also had the right to life. And so she maintained that it is not only subjected to Irungu, but also the deceased, the one who is dead. And she maintained that it must be looked at both sides. And then came the intention of the murder. And the judge concluded that after listening to the defendants and the accused side and the prosecution, she concluded that this murder was not an act it was not a defensive act, neither was it an act of provocation. And she concluded that this was an arrogant act that was planned, intended, and executed. And she concluded by saying that when one dies, the person leaves a trail of shattered dreams and broken hearts that can never be compensated. And then, ladies and gentlemen, she read this sentence, giving Joseph Irungu a death sentence. And she concluded that this can only be set aside by a court of justice. Many have said that maybe the boy child is being victimized here because Jackie Maridu, who was a co-accused, has gotten a job in the government. But according to the judge, it was based on evidence. And I'm saying that Judge Nzioka has the heart of a lion because she looked straight into the eyes of Jowi, Joseph Irungu, and pronounced this sentence, looking back at the trail of activities of Joseph Irungu and the victim and the plea from the family. And she concluded that life sentence, according to the international laws and the Kenyan law and the laws in Africa, can be executed in extreme and gruesome murder such as this.
Secondly, murder leaves behind a trail of shattered dreams and broken hearts that can never be healed. Murder leaves behind a trail of shattered dreams and broken hearts that can never be healed. I have said the accused person before me is 33 years. The deceased was 28 years. Thirdly, the act of murder is a heinous crime that challenges the moral fabric of society and demands justice. And so it is not just a loss to the immediate family. Of course it is in the highest degree, but it's a loss to the society when one is killed unlawfully. And so, based on everything I have said, I have ordered that the first accused person before this court being Joseph Kuria Irungu alias Jowi, shall suffer death as provided for the offense of murder under section 204 of the Penal Code of Kenya. And that sentence is lawfully set aside by a court of competent jurisdiction. That is the order of the court. Thank you.
I don't want to add anything. I rest my case.